All right, let's start the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Serenial podcast, episode 22. Well, this is the first episode 22, but I am Mega Harv, and as always, I have Enigma with me. How you doing this week, Enigma?
Yeah, how's it going? Glad to be back as always. Another Friday night. Time
Yeah.
to talk about some more games.
Oh, yeah. So they just started up the old Tokyo Game Show this week. Still a lot to go yet, but there's been a few announcements that I at least have an opinion on. But first, what have you been up to for this past week, Enigma? Because you're just finishing up one of your games, weren't you, last week?
Let me see. Last
week, Mass Effect 3?
Yes. Holy crap, thank you. I almost forgot. I finished up Mass Effect Legendary Edition, all three. I finally finished part 3 now of the trilogy, and I was streaming it. It's pretty... I do like the changes they made, and I'm just waiting for Mass Effect 4, honestly. I really hope they announce something more than just I believe they made a trailer earlier this year, and it was just 4, and it said Mass Effect, and I was just give us more than that, Give us more than that.
So they just were like, here's the title. We're gonna make you wait 18 more months for a trailer. That type of thing.
Good old freaking trailers, man. They release trailers to trailers, oh, this is teasing you for the trailer that's about to come out in another year. So just keep waiting. It's okay. If someone's really waiting for something, then they're gonna wait. But
right,
don't make them wait all day. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just a freaking tragedy. Mass Effect 4 is a long time waiting.
Oh yeah, because 3 came out how long ago now? 2010? Longer ago than that?
3
shortly. Yeah.
No. Part 1 was 07. Part 2 was 09. 3 was 2012.
Okay. I mean, still almost 10 years.
So it's been...
It'll be 10, but
yeah, March
time
2012. Oh, definitely. Andromeda came out in 2015, actually, even?
Yeah, that was recent-ish, I want to say. Might be even 2016.
Andromeda was 2017.
17.
Okay. So even that was 4 years ago.
Time
almost
flies.
5. So yeah, it's about time. Oh, for sure. For sure. I look forward to it. I mean, I hope this is going to be a direct sequel to 3. I don't know what ending they would base it off of, but
Right. Well, I hope they can live up to the expectation, because a lot of people seem let down by Andromeda. Because I don't really know much about the series, but
well, it took things to a whole other galaxy. It went from the Milky Way or whatever, I believe,
right,
to Andromeda.
Makes sense.
They did the whole thing where everybody's in cold. It takes place in between. Technically, it takes place in between part 2 and 3, time chronologically, because. But everyone went to cold sleep for years, because it takes I don't know how long to travel from one galaxy to the other,
Right.
So by the time you actually play the game and everybody's awake, the trilogy of 3 already finished. But everybody initially embarked on that massive journey at that time frame.
So distant past.
It's a whole complicated mess.
Okay.
Yeah. It's years past. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But right before we jump into the Tokyo Game Show announcements, today is the first of the month. I'm just going to toss out some games that are coming out this month.
Hell yeah.
Which there's only a few really that I personally find interest in, but I'm seeing this list and there's way more than I actually thought. I mean, we have FIFA 22 came out apparently today.
Oh, that's a big deal for a lot of people, Europe, especially.
Every soccer fan in the world that has a PlayStation 4 or 5, I know you guys looking forward to it.
Yep.
Freaking, oh man, Alan Wake Remastered, which was something they announced in the that was on the PlayStation 5 showcase, I believe.
Yes.
The PlayStation 5 show. That comes out on October 5th. PS5, PS4, and all that. I never played the original, but I have heard some pretty good things about that game though. So I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that remaster. Another
Oh, I
game
bet.
is Far Cry 6.
That's coming out
Obviously,
this
a lot of people have been looking.
Wow. Okay. That's
That
huge.
is coming out October 7th. Apparently, is going to be Far Cry 6.
Wow.
So next week,
Okay.
and also next week, right after that, is Metroid Dread.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
Hype
man,
through
just
the
a
roof.
week from today, Metroid Dread, October 8th.
So
Been looking
close.
forward to it since I heard about it like 3 to 4 months ago.
Can't
Hell
believe
yeah,
how
just a
close.
week to go now.
Yeah, I can't believe how close to the end of the year we are. It's like all this stuff slated for the end of the year is going to be rolling out any day now. Like Metroid.
Seriously. Crisis Remastered Trilogy comes out October 15th. People,
I've heard of those
never
games.
played the original Crisis.
Me neither.
But I remember I had a friend who was really into it. I think he played it on PC. It was pretty good.
There was three of those,
I saw
wasn't
some
there?
yeah, no, they had a trilogy. The whole trilogy is going to be remastered, and it's going to be out on Switch, PC, PlayStation 5, across the board, basically.
Cool.
Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Oh, like the anime?
That is a great anime.
Yeah,
and I have to see. Yeah, I gotta see how the game is gonna be. Because I love the anime.
I've heard the anime
and the movie
is fabulous.
The game comes out October 15th as well, apparently. So 2 weeks. It's going to be out across the board as well. PS4, PS5, Xbox, Switch, PC. Gotta see more of the gameplay. It's going to be based on the first season of the anime, of course, but
right.
I gotta see how the gameplay is. A lot of game adaptations from an anime just don't seem like they really hit. They feel a little bit like lacking in some department,
Right.
NHL 22, which of course is another one of the is just going to come out every year.
Good time to be a sports fan. It's kind of that time of year when they start pumping those out.
Yeah, the end of the year is when all the new sports titles come out. NASCAR 21 Ignition. Once again, another like pretty regular title. Also, Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, October 26th.
I didn't realize that was like just about to come out. I thought that was going to be like next year sometime.
Yep. No, that one's slated for this month as well, and they just announced it a few months ago. Over the summer, I think they announced it, from what I remember. Age of Empires 4 on PC. That's going to be out at the end of the month. I remember Age of Empires. I think I played 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I used to be a little bit into those games. I like RTSs. And Mario Party Superstars.
Yeah.
Of course, for the Switch will be out
29th.
Ooh, 4 weeks from now. You just got 4 weeks to go, and you're gonna get your game.
Oh, well, it'll be worth the wait. I'm gonna be jumping all over that.
I gotta see how it's gonna go. I gotta see how it's gonna be, but it might be one that I find myself interested in as well. I'm not sure yet.
I don't think.
And of course, there's a few other titles.
Yeah.
Some remasters and whatnot. I don't recognize some of these names, but for everybody looking out, plenty of games in total coming out this month to look forward to.
I mean, those are some pretty blockbuster titles to come out this month.
Oh, Metroid.
Especially
Super
Metroid.
Mario Super Party. Yeah, this month they got their hand full.
Yeah, and
for sure.
There's like another one you said right off the top that I was... Oh, Far Cry 6. That's a pretty big deal, isn't it? Like, those games are pretty big.
Oh, definitely.
I've never played any of them.
I never played any Far Cry, but people love them.
I saw some of 5's gameplay. I could see myself getting into them, but I just didn't. And I have such a hard time. Like, I don't want to jump into a series like 6 games in. Maybe I just should. But I feel like there's a better springing in point than that. Maybe not.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's some blockbuster titles. And I'm pretty sure for the rest of the year is going to be some as well, because this is holiday season now at this point,
Right. I'm going to start having I'm going to start watching for a hawk for some retail price PlayStation 5s.
If you can get a retail price like MSRP and not like from a scalper, then I highly recommend it. because you're gonna want to, even the PlayStation 4 games, you're gonna want to play them preferably on PlayStation 5 because
Right.
it's just gonna play better.
Just
you know?
yeah, like loading.
It's
If
just gonna
no
it's
other
gonna be
reason
running
than
smoother.
the loading times. But like I looked
No,
on
definitely.
Amazon today,
was
and
an-
there was a PS5 for sale for the low price of $1,400. At least Canadian.
$1,400.
I think it was Canadian, but like still.
That's
No.
that's still ridiculous. I can't.
I'd
I
expect to
can't.
pay like $500-$600 for
That's
one.
oh man.
For a disc one, probably like $600.
That's
I don't know what they cost normally, but not over $1,000. I can't.
that's freaking nuts. I don't know how people are selling these things for that high still.
Me neither.
That's like
there's people still are like,
I don't
okay,
know.
I've waited a year. I have to have a PS5 now. I'm going to pay $1,400. Like, how many people are left like that? Maybe it'll be like that till after holiday season. I don't know.
Well,
Little
the
Johnny's gonna
first
want
holiday
one.
season, people were scrambling to get them by Christmas, and now another holiday season. You know what I mean? Remember that thing released in November 9th, I believe, 2021.
Around there,
2020.
November for sure.
So the fact that they're still trying to get them off, scalping them, I think is honestly I think it's a mess. I don't understand how they're getting by doing this.
I'd love to know
I
the
don't.
actual number of PlayStation 5s that are just sitting in a scalper's basement right now. Like, would there be 1 million that just sitting there collecting dust? Like, how many are just?
Imagine a
I'm
basement full of
curious how
PlayStation
many
5s.
could possibly
If I had a basement full of PlayStation 5s, man, I would freaking
be rich by now.
I'd be on
$1,400.
Craigslist every day. I'd be on Amazon every day. Like, I have to get these off.
Yeah.
This is gonna pay the bills. I sell a PlayStation 5. It's on my rent is paid. All right.
No kidding. Seriously.
That's nuts.
That markup, that would pay my rent for sure.
Sell one PlayStation 5. It's like, oh, I have food for the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I believe Xbox had their announcement, and today was Square Enix.
That's what I'm
Also, I believe Capcom was Capcom today? I forgot. Was Capcom today or were they yesterday? Let me check.
remember your
Make sure.
Were they? I remember you saying something about 505 games earlier.
I'm trying to make sure.
Because, like, full disclosure, all I really caught was
Capcom
was some of the Square Enix stuff. That was what I was most interested in. So
yeah, Capcom had some of their Capcom went yesterday as well, I believe.
Oh.
And
no new Breath of Fire.
Starting with them, because they're not a huge company, but nothing
new.
It seems like all they did was talk about Monster Hunter Rise.
I mean, it's a big series for
like
them.
I figured Monster Hunter.
But yeah. They have nothing else going on. Like,
it seems like it's their current cash cow outside of Resident Evil. It's just Monster Hunter. They said basically it was just more like, I guess, expansions, DLC, new characters, so on and so forth. For Monster Hunter Rise.
Right.
And I believe they also announced that it was going to be coming to PC. That was the other big thing.
That's a big deal.
Because
if they were never before.
Monster Hunter World was on PC after a while, but now the new one, Monster Hunter Rise, which just released like earlier this year, I believe. Now that's going to be on PC as well.
Okay.
And this Rise is Switch exclusive, I think, for right now, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting.
Switching PC. A lot of stuff winds up doing, like Octopath has done that too, I think. Octopath Traveler, Switch and PC now, which I still need to play. Yeah, I'll play it when it's retro. I'll be like 50. I'll finally play it.
And he announced for Monster Hunter Rise, they announced Sunbreak, which is one of their new expansions that they're working on, and that apparently has a release date of summer 2022. So I'm like, they're announcing an expansion pretty early. It's like almost a year out, but
something.
Maybe that's how they do it. I don't play Monster Hunter personally. I tried it and I wasn't really a fan.
Yeah.
But hell, I know a lot of people are really into that game heavy.
So
I know they're looking forward to that.
I don't know if Monster Hunter came out when I was just doing other things, and that's why I missed it. I'm guessing that's what happened. When did Monster Hunter debut? What system was it? Was it
The
PS2?
very first one was for PS2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Somehow I missed it, and then beyond that, I just was busy with other things than games at the time.
the first one was 2004,
Oh, it's that old. Wow.
so
Okay.
it's been out for a while now. Yeah, this is like, as far as like the main titles go, this is like
I would have been in university.
as far as the main title goes, this is the sixth one. 15 years, 16, 17 years or so. So yeah, and then they got some spin-offs and remasters and so on and so forth. But the main series, this is number 6. Just released in March. But yeah, that was all Capcom really had to say. Is it's possible on PC, it's getting expansion, so on and so forth, the DLC. Nothing else that was interesting from them. Xbox basically said that they're going to commit to increasing their lineup. They're going to add more Japanese games, and I'm just like, what does that even mean? They're going to make more new games tailored to Japanese audiences, or are they going to port over more games from Japan, like, and bring them to the Xbox console platform? I don't know, but
we're gonna get more.
I mean,
like
you get more JRPGs,
Well, JRPGs are
more
like
Final Fantasy.
not like quite visual novel, like like the fan servicey stuff.
Yeah, maybe they'll get Yakuza.
Maybe
Yakuza on Xbox, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm taking it like that way. They're gonna be maybe getting more rather than it just being on PlayStation or PC.
Right.
Now to be on like Xbox One or Xbox Series rather as well.
So they didn't.
That's good for all the Xbox players out there.
So they didn't even announce like Bethesda, anything from Bethesda. They've spent how many $1 billion on that company, and have they even made a game for Xbox yet? Is there even anything in the works? What is
as far as Bethesda goes? Apparently, they announced that this game that they're working on, I haven't heard of it. I don't follow Microsoft personally anymore, but apparently, this game they're working on says Redfall.
Okay.
It's going to be localized for Japanese audiences. I haven't heard of it, but if maybe it's an exclusive Xbox exclusive.
It's got to be.
I haven't heard of it, but probably. The name does not ring a bell in the slightest bit.
No.
Let me see. Yeah, Xbox Series X and S and PC, upcoming action adventure game that's set to release next summer. Okay, yeah, it's an Xbox. That's an Xbox exclusive. That's why. But yeah, apparently it's going to get a Japanese translation as well. So I guess that's part of also like maybe they're trying to expand the market share on the Xbox platform in Japan because it's a long running thing. Xbox just doesn't sell well in Japan. Like PlayStation does, Nintendo consoles do, but Xbox has a very low market share apparently when it comes to that country in particular.
I've heard that,
which is where a lot of games come from. So it makes sense if they want to increase their piece of the pie, so to speak, in there.
Right.
I don't blame them.
No, not at all.
You got to reach out.
Juicy market if they can tap into it.
Oh no, definitely, without a doubt. And besides that, they didn't really have much else to say. Scarlet Nexus, apparently, among a few other games, is going to be on Game Pass now as well. Which I'm like, that's part of their announcement. It's like, we're adding more games to Game Pass. I mean, I don't know if it's going to help them sell more Xboxes, but it's always good. Once again, I never used Game Pass. I stopped playing like Xboxes around the time or before that came out, probably, to be honest. But I have a friend who uses it all the time. They said it's pretty useful. It gets them to try a whole bunch of different games that they wouldn't have normally tried. So that's interesting.
It's basically, it's still basically just like their version of like PS Plus, isn't it? Or is it different from that?
It's very similar, but it works a little bit differently. I forgot exactly how.
Okay.
But
it's not a one-to-one like hack job.
It's separate. From what I remember, it's separate from PlayStation. It's separate, I believe, from like Microsoft's. What do they call it now? Xbox. I forgot. They changed the name. It's no longer Xbox Gold, right? It's like Xbox Live, Xbox.
Whatever they call it now. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I forgot what they changed the name to.
Yeah.
But basically, it's separate from that. Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Gold or whatever are two separate subscriptions, I believe. Unlike PlayStation Plus, where it's just one, where you get the PlayStation Plus games and
yeah,
you get
okay.
to play online. I believe Xbox is a separate subscription,
I see.
so you don't have to get both. No.
Gotcha.
It's something along those lines, I believe. If I'm wrong, then someone please freaking correct me. I don't play Xboxes like anymore. I have to go like dig and
Yeah.
dive and search into the Xbox freaking platform and
Right.
turn on my Xbox, which I haven't done in like a year.
Yeah. I'm not even sure where my 360 is at the moment. It's gotta be somewhere. Probably under my bed with my Wii.
But yeah, Xbox and Capcom, not much honestly else that they had to say. But the one that you did say that you were looking forward to, and the one that did have something that was pretty interesting to me as well, is Square Enix.
Mm-hmm.
They announced more of Final Fantasy. It seems like it's a remake of Part 1.
Yeah, Origin.
You know, the Strangers of Paradise, I believe it's called.
Yep. Final
Stranger
Fantasy
of Paradise, Final
Origin.
Fantasy Origin. That name is confusing.
It's confusing because they have Final Fantasy Origins on PS1 that has Final Fantasy 1 and 2 in it. So I think that's like the naming convention, even though it's confusing. It like just the naming of itself seems to be tying it together. What I'm hoping they're going to do, but they aren't beating it over our heads with it, is that they're just going to like fully reimagine Final Fantasy 1's world, but like in 3D and scale it. I think that'd be really rad if they did that. But like, well, that remains to be seen. Maybe I'm dreaming too big here, but I think that'd be super cool.
No, I feel like that's pretty dang cool to do, honestly. Like similar to how Final Fantasy VII Remake episode 1, they basically just took that game and turned it into a, you know, more like 3D version and fully reimagined it and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I heard they remade 7, they're remaking 1 now since it has Origin in the title and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the Stranger of Paradise in the title comes from. That kind of throws me off. I never played Part 1 myself, really, like at least not fully.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know about the story at least. So if this is like the beginning of them like starting to remake more of their titles, like that's interesting. Because Square Enix as a whole, they're working on. So there's Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, confusing title. Final Fantasy VII Remake Episode 2 or Part 2, and Final Fantasy 16.
Right.
And they're also the ones behind Project Triangle, correct?
Yes. Yes, they are.
And on top of that, they also recently announced Final Fantasy. All these names are freaking like getting jumbled together. But they recently announced basically a Final Fantasy VII type like online
Fortnite thing.
Like a mobile. Like you're gonna go online, and it's apparently a mobile game, like for iOS and Android and whatnot. And it's very similar like Fortnite, where you hop in the game and you fight a whole bunch of people, and it's basically just slapping like a Final Fantasy VII skin on top of like a Fortnite or like a Overwatch or Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
PUBG, maybe.
PUBG,
those kind of games.
Yep.
So I believe they're also behind that as well. So that's 5 games right there.
Yep.
That's all coming out, as well, not counting any like delays, but that's all coming out within the next year or two.
Yeah. So they're busy for sure.
So yeah, that's pretty intense. There's a lot for them to work on. I hope they don't have to wind up like delaying a whole bunch of stuff. That would suck. Oh
yeah.
And there's another game, Dungeon Encounters.
Oh, right.
They're also behind that as well, which is due to release. Did they have a specific release date?
Was that this month?
Did.
I want to say that's coming out like soon. I could just be completely wrong about that. But
they had a long. They had a video like showing like
like
over
2 weeks,
14
I
minutes or
think.
so of gameplay of this new game. I didn't catch the release date myself, but yeah,
I
that
think
should
it's
be out probably soon too.
I think so. It doesn't like I don't have like an inherent issue with like the style of this dungeon encounter game because it seems to be heavily based like pen and paper plus like card battle type of thing. But something about it just feels lazy to me rather than like they're doing it out of laziness rather than like for the style of it. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't like maybe it just plays fine and I wouldn't feel that way playing it, but I just something about it just rubs me the wrong way.
No, it definitely going looking through the gameplay, it just didn't it didn't speak to me. It
Right.
looked like it looked just like a freaking board game, like with a very plain looking background,
Yeah.
like a honestly like a textbook. It just looks like you're on a like in a book walking through a board,
Right.
going from one end of it to the other, and then you're fighting just fighting enemies when you get to like various squares and whatnot. But there isn't much else to it. It's very, I mean, hell, it even says it in the trailer. It says it's very stripped down,
Mm-hmm.
even the battles.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I don't know exactly who they might be marketing it to particular. This
Right.
typically it seems like Square Enix markets to a more wider audience than this. You know what I
Right.
mean? With games like Kingdom Hearts, very mass appeal.
Oh yeah.
Um, Even Final Fantasy has a very wide market nowadays,
Yep.
especially. Um, so it's just like now I'm just like, okay, now I feel like you're getting too niche with this one at least, you know.
Yeah,
So
like
I
I
am curious to see where they're going with it, you know, and how it's gonna do.
yeah, like I hope it does well for them, but like I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
also
but
concerned that we'll get like that it'll start a trend and then we'll just it's one thing if Square wants to do like a one-off like game of this style, but if there's like a whole trickle-down effect with it across the industry, I don't know how I would feel about that. So long as the gameplay's solid, I guess I can't really complain too much, but and like I don't need a game to be overproduced, but give me something in the middle.
no, this is definitely one of those like dungeon crawl. Like I've played a few dungeon crawlers. They're not typically my thing,
Right.
you know, but I guess we have to see how it goes. One thing is I would like to see how the story is. You know, like, a good
Yeah.
story can make up for certain other
Yeah.
flaws in a game, or
I'm
you
not
know what I mean. But
expecting much of a story in that one, but maybe there is. So I know there is with that voice of
yeah,
cards
I
game.
mean,
So like maybe it'll be the same deal. I'm a little more interested in the voice of cards one because even though that's like pretty stripped down, it's more like the cards are the mechanic and like I know Yoko Taro's behind it, and I have faith in Yoko Taro's ability. But remains to be seen, I guess. It might be a swing and a miss for me. I'll keep an eye on it though.
yeah. As far as also, they released a new story trailer for Triangle Strategy. So they got
Oh,
a new
right.
trailer for the people that were already looking forward to it. You know, I'm sure another new trailer isn't really gonna make, a difference. Like I was looking forward to it regardless, you know.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't think I really need to see another trailer. I still
Just to
have the
tease
demo
people a
like
bit more.
downloaded on my Switch that I haven't gotten around to playing.
Yeah,
You
I
know, it's
keep
supposed to be out what February or March? Let me see.
yeah, March I
March
think.
4th.
March I think is going to be a
Yeah, I'm definitely
pretty
looking forward to
hectic
that.
month. Hey, Michael the Lucario, how you doing?
And then of course, like I said, that the name of that like MOBA style game
Yeah,
is Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier.
it is the first soldier. Okay.
It's a mobile battle royale. And they also apparently got a freaking kart racing game, Chocobo
Yep.
GP, which I'm sure means free or whatever, which
Right.
is like odd. Hey, go
Yeah.
for it.
Well, they had Chocobo
And
racing on the PS1, so like it's what I find odd about it is they waited this long to make another one. I thought it was a fun enough game, like it was good for like a weekend or whatever. But like I don't know if I'd be
yeah,
going back to it, day after day.
they didn't have any word all. Still no news on Final Fantasy 16 though. not in the PS5 showcase or in this showcase either. So maybe it won't be till later this year that they show some more information, or maybe next year.
Yeah, I'm thinking just forget
All
about
we got
Final
is that
Fantasy 16 right now. They're probably more focused on Remake 2 and like once they get Origins out of the way and
Project Triangle.
yeah, Project Triangle and like get the mobile game running. Because from what I saw from the trailer, like the Battle Royale game, like it seemed like some of the arenas were just Midgar. So like it's making me wonder if they're like assets that will be in that game will just be what they are in part 2. Like if they're just kind of doing double duty with it. Because there was like a Wutai looking map they were on. So it's making me wonder if that's part of, like they're working on the world, but they're dropping it in this format first.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, the first soldier. So I believe you play as like, well, quite literally characters from soldiers from Soldier. Like. So I'm interested, but not in a battle royale.
I'm not like super excited for it or anything, but like I'm definitely gonna try it. And if I happen to be okay at it, I'll probably keep playing it. If I suck at it, I'll just be like, all right, pass. And I usually suck at battle royale, so I don't expect to stick with it. But there's melee classes and stuff, so I'm a little more interested because it's not like a shooter per se. Like there's still magic and stuff you could use. It's like long range and ninjas, but I'd like to be like a warrior class and just see what I could do with that. I'll probably try.
Yeah, definitely. But so for Square Enix, not too much news. Dungeon Encounters, a brand new game. I don't remember them ever looking forward to, honestly. But Stranger of Paradise.
Yeah.
Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. They announced the release date, March 18th, 2022. So that means it's going to be out 2 weeks after Project Triangle or Triangle Strategy.
Yeah. It's weird
how that's the full title is Project Triangle Strategy, right?
It's weird how Square will like crowd themselves sometimes. It's like maybe space out your titles a little bit
also because there's also Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember?
Oh yeah, isn't that coming out?
That is Square Enix as well.
Like super soon
this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back at the beginning, I mentioned it was going to be out like I forgot the 15th or 28th.
Something like that.
It was one of those dates, I believe. But later this month, and that one I got to see how it is. And of course, also Forspoken, the game we mentioned in the PS5 showcase discussion. That is also Square Enix apparently. And yeah, like they're behind a lot of freaking games. I mean, so I am curious to see how it goes,
Yeah, and it's
also Life is Strange is getting apparently a new game, I think a sequel or a spin-off, I'm not sure.
I remember seeing something about it. I've never played any of them. I don't really know the deal. Like I see the art styles like almost like Pixar sort of looking stuff. I have no idea what it's about.
They're the publisher behind that game as well. I've played the first Life is Strange like a few years ago because that's when I got my PS4 and I played The Walking Dead and I played Game of Thrones.
Oh, is it like a Telltale game type of thing?
Yeah. It's from what I played, it's just like a Telltale game. Basically.
Okay.
Wolf Among Us. Yeah, it's just like that. You make all the text dialogue, you make the decisions, and so on and so forth, and then your decisions change like certain other things that happen in the game.
Gotcha.
But basically, Life is Strange just took place in like a freaking high school, and I was just like, I wasn't as interested in the whole setting as I was with the Wolf Among Us being in a fairy tale setting.
I played that.
That was great. Game of Thrones, is a medieval kind of setting, similar like medieval fantasy kind of thing. And then of course, Walking Dead was a whole, Walking Dead. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Life is Strange. I was like, I'm not really interested in going back to a high school.
Right.
So I kind of stopped at like the first hour.
Yeah. It'd be one thing if you're like not in high school yet or like in high school and play it. It'd probably be more relatable. But
now I'm just like, I was like, I hated high school. Like, don't remind me. Like, I don't want to play a high school in high school every day, going through like typical teenage drama.
Right.
I liked the fairy tale kind of setting or the medieval kind of setting.
Yeah.
It was less, I guess, less realistic, so it was more interesting to me personally. But it does clearly have a very viable fan base because this is now the, I believe, the third or fourth Life is Strange game, if I remember correctly. I haven't been following the series, but I do know I've heard of a sequel, part 2, and a spin-off as well, and DLC. So, yeah, the series has been running for like 6 years now. It came out in 2015 is when the first one was released. It's an episodic thing, so like one episode released this week, and then another episode released 2 months later, and then it kept going on and on and on and on, and then they made a new game, which was a whole new series of episodes.
Hey, Navarro,
very telltale game.
How you doing?
Hey, man, welcome, Navarro. How's it going? We were just discussing some of the more games from the Tokyo Game Show. Dungeons and Dragons.
I've been talking about the new Tokyo Game Show stuff.
Yeah. Square Enix and Xbox had some news, and Capcom just talking about Monster Hunter Rise for like the whole 40 minutes. They
Not
had
really news, but yeah.
Yeah. Not many new IPs apparently, just kind of DLC stuff or expansions and second and third trailers of games that was announced like months, if not a year ago.
Kind of what I expect from Capcom.
What we talked about just now. I don't want to interrupt, but also, I could talk about one of the Xbox things that was.
We were just finishing up talking about Life of Stranges a little bit. What were you looking at with the Xbox?
I saw that they've got kind of an early demo thing coming for the Swery game, The Good Life. Had you been following that one?
No.
Is it if it's Xbox only? Then no.
No, it's Xbox, PlayStation, PC type thing, but I guess they like have minor timed exclusivity for the demo for it. So, good luck with that kind of thing. But that's one that was kickstarted. I was just looking in 2018. I paid for it. So it's now coming out. Yay. October 15th, finally. And so I think this was just like a last hurrah. Like there wasn't really really big news. It was just a convenient time to talk about it. When I mentioned Swery, do you know that creator at all?
No,
is it?
Not at all.
So he's the guy who did a Deadly Premonition.
Oh, okay.
1 and 2, and then also Dark Dreams Don't Die, and The Missing, J.J. McField, and The Island of Memories, which is the title. Auteur type, like very kind of Yoko Taro-esque kind of thing, but they don't give him quite as big as a budget. Gotcha. And so Deadly Premonition is all about like this kind of like America Twin Peaks thing, but like through the eyes of somebody who's like clearly only been to America briefly. And Deadly Premonition 2 came out, I think, last year, and has the same feeling. It's instead of Washington State, it's like down South America, like Louisiana type thing. And again, I recognize it from movies and things, but I also can tell that like people visited there for like a week or two, kind of thing. Took some pictures, like we're gonna make a game about this now, and hope it's not like super offensive. It's surreal, and I love it. And so, but I think from all of the Kickstarter things and from what they showed in the reveal and stuff, The Good Life. So it's about this photographer who's investigating like a mystery in a town in the United Kingdom, and it's about becoming a cat at night and kind of exploring like the cityscape like that. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, it's again, I'm really looking forward to just from the director alone. But yeah, I'm like kind of all in with that one. So I was excited to see more kind of reveal stuff from the Xbox conference the other day.
Oh, you said they got the funding for that through Kickstarter?
Yeah,
like a Kickstarter campaign?
Yeah, cool. And yeah, long ago. And so I think they're on like Kickstarter update number like 75 or something in the emails they send you. And I was like,
oh man,
the game's gonna come out soon, right? And then just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they're like, there's a release date. And so
oh my god,
that was big news.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. No, I saw In the trailer, it says coming October 15th. I never heard of the game, but it's going to be out in 2 weeks, it says. So
that's nice.
might have to look at that.
Finally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to that one. Yeah, so it's in the Xbox conference, but not an Xbox exclusive per se. It's just, it might be on Game Pass or something, which is
Gotcha.
maybe a bit of a thing. It's like, oh, why did I kickstart this? Then again, Game Pass didn't exist when I kickstarted it either, and you never know. So
Right.
Speaking of Game Pass,
what's that?
Speaking of Game Pass, they announced that some more games were coming to Game Pass. But I remember Harvey and I don't really play on the Xbox too much anymore. So how does Game Pass work again?
So Game Pass, it's so good. So basically, it's Netflix for Xbox kind of thing, and they give you like a whole bunch of 360 games. They give you a whole bunch of Xbox One games, and more recently, I think there's Xbox Series games coming to it. But the big thing about it is that if you finagle it right, and this must be on purpose, and this must not be what most people do. If you have 3 years of Xbox Live Gold and you buy 1 month of Game Pass for $20 Canadian or $15 American or whatever, it gives you 3 years of Game Pass. So I've only paid for Game Pass twice in the last 6 years, or the last.
Wow.
So I paid once 2.5 years ago, and I paid last month for the next 3 years. So I paid like $21 for like free games for a very great long time.
Goodness.
And it fuses EA Play with the Microsoft offering. So like it's got all your Fallouts, it's got all like sports, EA, and it's got a bunch of Final Fantasies and things. Like I've really wanted to play Final Fantasy X Part 2, but I've never got around to it, but it's on there.
Oh man.
It's got like Fallout 76, which I wouldn't have given the time of day, but it's actually really good nowadays. So that's awesome. So that when people like want, it's like, oh, I want a last gen console. What should I get? It's like Game Pass, and the fact that you can buy current gen controllers backwards compatibly. Those two things kind of make getting an Xbox One better than a PS4 in a lot of ways, I think.
It actually does sound appealing. Like that, it's just like, we got this
really
Game Pass, and here rather than like, here's a couple of free games any given month, it's like, here's a bunch of games, play the one you want to play.
Yeah, so many games, and it's not like remember how PS4 only had the streaming thing? Like you can with this, but like the lion's share of them are downloadable type thing, or like 99% of them, like you play them on your hard drive like a normal person, and stuff like that. The only kicker is that just like on Netflix, things just go away sometimes. So you have to like really be paying attention to things. So like so I played all the Yakuza games on there, or the first 5 Yakuza games on there so far. There's a 4. Yeah, first 4. And the remastered version and everything. But then other games like some RPG I was playing, and it's like leaving in 1 month. I was like, good thing it's the summer, so I can like spend. Oh no, Indivisible. Yeah, I spent like 8 hours a day playing Indivisible because it was like going away in 2 weeks. So I just had to play my face off for that one. It was a little bit stressful, but also good motivation to finish it.
Oh, it seems like it's worth it. I never had it before. That's
me neither.
They said there's more games that are coming to it. Now it's just like Scarlet Nexus. Actually, they said is one of the games coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Coming. So after seeing you play it, I'm like, well, now I'm gonna get on this, man.
Oh no, I definitely play. I just got the platinum like a month. What was it, 3-4 weeks ago or something like that? A month ago.
Yeah, it's pretty recently. Yeah.
It was great. So I'm glad that, I don't play on my Xbox One, but I'm glad that it's going to be on Game Pass so even more people can hop on. I want them to make a sequel to it, honestly. I don't know how they would, considering the story, but...
worst case, they make other characters something, right?
Yeah, it was...
Tales of Scarlet Nexus or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even a prequel maybe, spin-off, something like that. Because it was definitely one of the better JRPGs for the year, And I heard a lot of people been saying that same thing. Another game I have to get to is Tales of Arise. They've been saying that's another one. That just released last month.
Series I need to give more love.
But no, I mean, outside of that, there was another... Who else went for the Tokyo Game Show? I believe...
505 did, but they're kind of like
505,
whatever to me.
yeah, I don't even know what 505 is behind besides Control. So I'm just
Me
like,
neither.
well, what do you guys have? You know? I mean, I'm curious. Like, even trying to find what they announced, I'm just like, what was it?
No, I saw in the text chat because I was like busy all day. I couldn't see any of the new stuff today. Did you say that Yoko Taro has something coming down the pipeline?
Yes. So
Yoko
you may have seen footage of this already, but the game coming out called Voice of Cards. It's going to be out the end
No,
of
actually.
October, I believe. It's like the
Oh,
world background's
no.
all cards, the battles are cards, it's cards. It's like at first I'm like, I'm kind of intrigued, but I don't know. But then I heard Yoko Taro's behind it, so I'm like, well, I have to at least keep an eye on it now.
Yeah, at least give it a go.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Switch exclusive, but it was on. I think it was on the Direct.
Huh.
I actually have the notes right in front of me.
And there's a demo even. Okay.
Yes, there is a demo.
Okay. Well, I don't mind cards myself. It's not my favorite medium, but
Yeah. Like I figure
get
if
behind
it's a
it.
gimmick plus Yoko Taro, I gotta at least give it a chance. Now that he's won me over, so.
Oh, I'm seeing in one of the preview pictures Grimoire Weiss from
Oh, good.
Near Gestalt / Near Replicant
As he should
is
be.
on there. So yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. A book is what is a book but many cards put together?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, that seems pretty cool. Then
Yeah.
I might have to get that. Yeah, just for branding alone. Kind of like I eventually have to get that iOS game for that Near Automata world. One with little
Reincarnation.
ghosts. Yeah. Just getting around to that someday.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't know if my tablet will support it, but if not, I could probably run it through BlueStacks or something.
Yeah, like work gave me an iPad, so I think that's a
Oh.
sign that I'm meant to play.
Yeah,
This
no
sort
kidding.
of thing.
I think I'll like
Oh,
it though.
no.
Like it's a turn-based
Voice of
Near
Cards?
Automata type of thing. Like I think I'd enjoy it. It just depends how like gotcha-y it is. Like if it's playable without spending money or not.
Which one?
Near
The one Voice of
Reincarnation.
Cards? Near Reincarnation.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's like-
iOS
Yeah.
Near
Oh.
game.
It's like
That's ironic. I just started playing Near Replicant like
you did?
yesterday. Yeah, just started playing it last night.
Yeah,
You
but
know, I popped in, installed it. I bought it a few months ago when it was on sale, but I was
Right.
playing so many other games, you know, like Mass Effect and Scarlet Nexus.
Mhm.
I started streaming it last night, actually.
Mhm.
You know, I got through the first like few missions and whatnot. It's pretty good so far.
So
Since
far,
I never
so
played the
good.
original, I don't know exactly what changes
right.
there are, but I mean, I'm sure it looks better, at least visually.
I imagine
um,
people playing the games backwards wise. I imagine it's still kind of a thrill seeing Devila and Popola in the first
Yeah.
area there, right?
For
I
sure.
still have to play Automata. I played a demo of Automata, so that's all I know about it.
So you're playing it in the same order as me then. Okay, so this is actually
Yeah,
okay,
all,
so just
all brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played Automata. I only played the demo of Automata, and I was like, oh, okay, this looks all right, but I never bought it yet.
oh yeah, no rush.
I was just
But yeah,
yeah.
I think you're playing it in the right order.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think you get more out of playing Gestalt / Replicant first, and then playing Automata second.
Having played them in the opposite order, I have to agree. Because I just did my second playthrough of Automata recently, and I'm like, now that I've played Replicant, it's like, I'll never forget that first playthrough of Automata, but like, now I would say I like Replicant more. Just because, like, the way that it, like, just how desolate the world in Automata is. It just, I feel like it was designed in such a way I'm supposed to like Near Replicant better.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an unusual marrying of the worlds there that is a very rare thing. Like Final Fantasy could have done that, but didn't even come close with any of its games. No sorts of links happen.
Hey, Turtle Burger.
Yeah, for tomorrow, apparently, on the Tokyo Game Show, it's going to be Arc System Works.
Okay.
And I have no idea what games they're behind to know if I'm even excited.
They
for
do
them or not.
River City Ransom stuff.
Well,
now.
so,
Really?
and they're also the ones that do Guilty Gear in terms
Oh.
of Guilty Gear Strive,
I
which
didn't know
came
that.
out recent-wise. Yeah,
Oh,
so
I just
that's like
wow.
their like favorite baby, I think.
Okay.
Okay, then I have
and
the
then-
games
yeah,
because
and
I
then-
played one of the Guilty Gears.
And then Blaze Blue, and then also things like the Persona fighting game are theirs as well.
Oh, no way. Okay. I've never played any.
No,
of
yeah, I
those.
just found a list. I found a list of their the games that they're behind, and I do recognize some of these. I just didn't know that they were behind it. Like, oh, that's pretty freaking cool. Freaking, I see a bunch of fighting games here. Yeah, Blaze Blue.
Yeah, so all the Blaze Blue games, the
Guilty Gear.
Kill La Kill game was theirs as well. So I'm certain that one of the Tokyo Game Show reveals for them will be one of the next season pass characters for Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh yeah, that's the newest Guilty Gear, right? That's the one
yeah.
that came out, I think, this year.
Yeah. So now
Still
here's where I want to probe how popular Guilty Gear is, kind of in a meta way. Have you guys come across the Jacko pose challenge? Then in your internet meme.
No.
Yeah, I actually ran into that. I ran into that recently on Discord.
Okay,
It was
so there you
very
go.
odd to say the least.
Yeah, so Jacko is a character from Guilty Gear series, and so yeah, it's Guilty Gear starting to transcend the games itself now, much like Lady Dimitrescu was transcending Resident Evil 8 kind of thing, and kind of a pervy way, but whatever gets people to buy the game, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
For sure. I didn't realize
Jacko is
Guilty
a
Gear was still going.
DLC character. Well, yeah. Big news. It's a new game that soft reboot of the systems and whatever. So it's went more and more complicated over the years. Now this one's much less complicated, which suits me just fine. I can now learn all the characters instead of just specializing in one.
Right.
But there's obviously some percentage of the player base who's like, this won't do. But everybody else is, pretty happy with it by the seams of it. It plays very well. Rollback netcode, like flawless most of the time, etc. and so forth.
If you look up the Jackal pose, honestly, you see a lot of freaking people doing it and people animating other characters doing it. I played one of the Guilty Gear games, but that was so many years ago, and it was on like the PS2. Like I don't even remember Jacko. I don't even know if she was in the one I played.
Yeah, Jacko wouldn't have been in Guilty Gear. That'd probably be PS2. That'd be Guilty Gear X.
That probably was the one.
The second Guilty Gear. She came
Bridget.
out as in the second iteration of Guilty Gear Xrd. Yeah, Bridget hasn't been in the series for a while.
Oh no.
Actually, despite everybody being excited about Bridget, you might say.
Right.
So yeah, Bridget, I wouldn't be surprised actually if Bridget's one of the DLC characters they announced and everybody would like lose their minds kind of thing. It's like finally the comeback that you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
None with a yo-yo, also a boy.
Wait, what?
It's like,
oh man, yeah, it probably was that one because I know it wasn't like I was still on a PS2 I think back then, so it had to be X.
Yeah,
I played X on the Dreamcast myself.
I didn't even know they had that many games in Guilty Gear, honestly. That's crazy.
Well, the fact that they number them Guilty Gear X, spin-off Guilty Gear Xrd, Guilty Gear Xrd Sign, Guilty Gear Xrd Sign Revelator, Revelator 2, and then Guilty Gear, Guilty Gear Sign.
Hard. That's so crazy.
So they're just making up words and pseudo numbers. So
X2 over XR.
Oh yeah, X2 Overture. Yeah.
Did they consult Xbox with their naming conventions? Microsoft?
I know, right? Guilty Gear XX/. What the hell? I don't even know what kind of titles these are. It's Guilty Gear X. Is this like softcore? Because there's only 2 X's and not 3. Like,
if that's how it works. Never questioned that.
Guilty Gear XX accent
you
core.
Take your shirt off in that one, but nothing else.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's nuts.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's somebody watching me like name off the games. Like, how did you miss so many? What's wrong with you? My bad. Sorry.
Hell, it might be this one, Guilty Gear Asuka. That might have been the one I played. I don't even know.
So yeah, Guilty Gear Asuka is the spin-off, which is a like real-time strategy game. So you would have known if you'd play that one because it was not a fighting game.
Okay, then it might not have been that. I don't even know. There's too many.
It's too many. That's true.
I looked on the list and I was just like, now I see there's like 20 of them. Like if you count all the spin-offs and whatnot. I'm
So
just like, oh
good.
geez, okay.
So
But no, yeah, Arc System Works apparently is going to have their showcase tomorrow. So we'll see what they just released
Yeah.
new title, like what was it, earlier in the beginning of this year. So yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of freaking companies apparently like doing this. Some of them have
you're right. River City Girls 2 and River City Girls 0 is probably going to be part of that conversation too, right?
Probably. One of the Zero, I think, is coming out in December.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I forget when. I don't know if they've announced when 2's coming out. I'll be all over that when it comes out.
Yeah.
Like River City Ransom game comes out, it's like a civic holiday for me.
Whether
I'm trying to
work
see
likes
what
it or
this
not.
game is. This one looks interesting.
Grand Blue
Apparently,
Fantasy?
505 Games released a new game, a trailer, and more. Well, I guess a second trailer for this new series. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce it still. Euden Chronicle.
Oh, I
think.
forgot 505 had anything to do with that. That's a spiritual successor to the Suikoden games. I can't wait for that. I actually
Oh.
kickstarted that.
Well, how
Really,
about
I was
that?
trying to pronounce how to pronounce that. Euden.
I can't say it either. Edwin Chronicles.
I'm
I don't know. EUIYUDEN or something.
This is freaking.
I
I
can't
need to hear
wait.
some. I need to hear them pronounce it because I'm just like, what? But yeah, it says that they also have a partnership with Xbox. Okay.
Yep, but it's going to be on Game Pass as well. I got it.
that's
I'm going to
pretty
get
cool.
it for PS4. That's what I asked for with my backing, but a digital copy. But I don't think it'll be out. I don't think the full thing is going to be out until 2023. But there's what they're calling a companion game that's coming out in 2022, I believe, which I think is kind of like a town building simulator of some variety. I'll be
That's
like
neat.
the second I can play it, I'm going to be all over that.
Oh wow,
Can't
that's
wait.
freaking crazy.
I
am curious.
I love Suikoden. It's such a great series. It's a miracle we got as many of them as we did.
Since I never played Suikoden, I can't even pronounce that.
Yeah.
Suikoden.
Yeah.
Some of these freaking JRPGs, they're like great, but I'm like, how do you pronounce them? I'm
Right.
just sitting here like.
I don't think
say
it's the
this
way they named it did them any favors in the West, but they're great.
Yeah.
1 and 2, like
Yeah.
2 in particular, it's like one of my all-time favorite games. But like I always, if I play 2, I have 1, so I play like 1 and 2. They're like the most, and 3, I guess, are like the most connected, like directly connected. So they kind of, but like 1 and 2 in particular are more connected, I feel, and it's more of the
How many are
similar graphics.
4, right?
Sorry,
They're 4 or 3.
there's 5 plus a tactics
Oh,
game, plus a game on
wow.
the DS, plus a card game we never got over here, and a PSP game we didn't get over here. I think that's it. So about
I didn't
9
even know
games.
they had that. Yeah, for this
Oh, yeah.
Suikoden shit.
It's a
Oh,
shame how
never played any of
it's
them,
hard to follow these series, like, throughout the development. It's like, well, you better buy this console, or you better buy this handle, or you better pick this team
Right.
to get behind.
Yeah, because before Suikoden was basically like PlayStation exclusive, except for like the handheld games. Hey, JPA. But yeah, like Suikoden to Kairos or something like that. I did not like it. I have it. I didn't care for it. I liked the card stories game, but it's hard. It's a card battler, but it's like kind of strategic too, because the cards they'll buff each other and have like special moves with each other and stuff. And
Not the combos and stuff.
tactic game is good. Like if it's just your typical grid style tactics, but it's Suikoden based. And I didn't play the PSP one. I played the rest.
I feel like I didn't play the PSP one is a pretty common refrain, unfortunately.
Well, it's
Very
like
much
it only
so.
came out in Japan, and it's the most recent one. I only found out about it like the past year or two. Came out in, I want to say, like 2016. I don't know if it's any good or not. Like, it's not the same team. the team that's making Ejuan Chronicles is like the actual Suikoden team. So
It's probably one of those things that was released on the PSP, and they're like, well, people will buy this on the Vita, so we can just kind of get both
right.
machines then. And it's like, yeah, the Vita store will be open forever. Wait a second. Difficult.
But yeah, I can't wait for that.
I don't know that.
I forgot
Ejuan-
they're publishing it or whatever. I forgot 505 even had anything to do with it. So no, the screenshots for that so far look really good. It looks very like Octopath inspired.
It might be. I mean, well, I gotta try it out then. I mean, I never tried Suikoden, so.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Might be up my alley.
Might be my most anticipated game. And well, like I said, it's not coming out till 2023, but like even the companion game, like that's like right at the top of my list to play that. See how it
And Kickstarted,
starts.
the game reached $500,000 of funding, and it was successfully raised $4,541,481 with 46,307 backers, making it the third highest funded video game in Kickstarter history, behind Shenmue 3 and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Oh, okay.
Really? Euden Chronicles?
Yep.
Wow, I'm surprised. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of am too.
I'm surprised
for how,
because I haven't been following it, but
like how niche the series is. But like two's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I have 2 on PS3, but I haven't played it.
Definitely
Waiting for one of those rainy 3 months to just sit down and play a JRPG.
So you said you have it, but you haven't played it yet?
Correct.
Okay. Oh man, it's 2's like if you can only play one Suikoden game, I would recommend 2, for sure.
Well, that's I was like, you know what? I'm gonna die before I finish all the games I
Right.
own. No, just of old age. Not of anything like more. Oh my god, I'm fine.
Right. No, I
I
get you.
And so I asked somebody on Reddit. It's like, okay, the Suikoden thing looks just fine. I'm probably only going to play one of them. What should I play if I'm going to play just one? And then that was the overwhelming response. Like, just get 2 if it's your selection then. So I only got 2. I again feel happy about this this choice.
You won't regret it.
Then minimalist choice. I might regret not going back and having played the first one first or whatever, but
No.
I think time-wise is probably
like you'll like the stories are all connected to a degree, but like if you were to play one first, you'd be like, oh, I recognize this person and this person, but you'd get probably just as much out of it if you were to play them in like reverse order. And it's like, oh, okay, so this character came from this game. Okay, this is why these people are friends. You know, stuff like that.
There's also sometimes like the benefit of like, ooh, I wonder what rich history this character has. Spoiler alert, none. But I like to imagine that there is. I didn't play the other game.
But yeah, it's like getting it on the PS3 is the best bet because to get like the actual disc of it now, it's like $200. Like it's crazy how much like a physical copy is. So just get it. You know, if you have a PS3, just get it off the PS Store for like $8-9.
I think I got it on like some sort of intense sale as well for like $250.
Oh, even
Canadian no tax. So yeah, it's basically free.
Nice.
So, but then yeah, somebody out there. It's like, why didn't you get all of them? It's like it's time. Time is more valuable
I get
than
it.
money right now. Yeah.
But yeah, like 2. Yeah, I can't speak much higher praise of 2.
I'm on hour 103 right now of Persona 5 Golden. So that's or Persona 5 Royal. I mean,
yeah,
so
okay.
keeps on keeping on.
So, yeah,
it's such a great game, man. It's such a great game.
I want to play it,
so
but it's
long
like,
ago.
If I could only just play like the new content, I would love to do that. But like just looking at it and being like, I got to put another 100 hours. Like it was a fantastic experience, but like to put another 100+ hours into it, I don't know if I have it in me right now.
I got the platinum trophy, and that long.
It's almost like I played Persona 4 Golden well after the fact as kind of my rite of passage into earning my Vita stripes or whatever.
Mhm.
When it was on the periphery of not being a Vita exclusive anymore either.
Yeah.
And then Persona 5, when it came out for PS3, I was like, a little suspicious that this is going to get a golden version. As well, maybe I'll just wait. And then,
Good call.
and so, woe betide those who like love the series enough that you played it right away. But like Enigma, you played both all the way through, didn't you?
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah,
Part
you're the
5.
hardest core.
Oh man, I pre-ordered the limited edition of Persona 5 and played it like as soon as possible. And
On
then when Royal came out,
PS3?
I played it on PS4. Yeah,
Oh,
it
because
ran.
it was simultaneous release for 3 and 4 in
Yeah.
English, right?
I don't know if Persona 5. I don't know if it came out for the PS3 in the US. I
Maybe
think
not
I
even
think
at
we
all.
only got it. I'm trying to let me check
I
actually.
think
I
so. It just
swore.
didn't really make much of a splash here. I heard it didn't run great on
Yeah.
the PS3.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the loading time was
no.
like mediocre or.
Yeah, for Persona
Um,
5, I think like in the West, I think we only got it on PS4, I think.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if we got the PS3
Are you sure? I could have swore I saw it, but then again, I
trying to-
do go on the Japanese PS store from time to time.
I
I'm
knew
trying
it
to
was
or at least
see.
I used to.
on PS3. I just assumed that meant that we got it over here. I didn't look into it at all.
I
Mm,
don't even know.
The PS3s aren't region locked, are they? Or are they?
Wait,
they
let me
are
see.
not.
Okay. 'Cause
I've
I know the
played
four,
so
the four
many,
isn't.
so many Japanese games on my PS3. I just felt like this magical land where I could, get Initial D from Japan and stuff like that, or the I got Yakuza Kenzan on PS3 and Yakuza Ishin
Oh, right.
on PS4.
Because you were telling me about one that was
So-
like a historical drama.
Right, yeah, both of those ones
Yeah, okay.
are, and just being able to put the thing in the machine without having to like do any weird pirate
Yeah,
shit or
mod
whatever.
chips or whatever,
Yeah, it just feels good, man.
yeah. Well, like, if you want to go to the trouble to get, like, a Japanese import, you should just be able to play it on your system. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
still buying the
exactly.
game.
Okay, well, yeah.
But like with
Okay, I
Xbox
think we did get the
360,
PS3 version, yeah.
there's like a handful. No, there's a thumb full of Xbox 360 games that were Japanese exclusive, which have subsequently come out on the Nintendo Switch, strangely enough. And I was just like, I want it to be region free, but no. And so that was a letdown in that era. But it's fortunately the new de rigueur to not region lock your stuff. I don't even super understand region locking. Like,
So
Me neither.
that game you mentioned, Yuden Chronicle,
Yes.
it's getting 2 games. Like, and I was
Yes.
trying to look into it more myself and see. It said Rising is the one coming out in 2022, and then it said that 100 Heroes is coming out in 2023.
Right.
So they were both part of this. You said it was Kickstarted, right? Also?
Yes.
So they both part of the Kickstarter? Because that's
Well,
pretty,
it was
that's pretty
originally
cool.
just going to be one game, and then somewhere down the line they split it into 2. I forget why exactly, but
I believe because its power level would be too high if it was combined into one. So in order to save the universe, they
That's-
divide its power.
it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And hell, if it was over 9,000, then Vegeta might get scared. So no, freaking.
I can't wait.
I just heard another announcement. I didn't know how many companies actually were on the Tokyo Game Show. Apparently, I don't know what company this is. I'm trying to find a name, but apparently Gungrave is getting a sequel.
I've heard of that name.
That is so. The name rings a bell to me, but I can't put my finger on it. But it said they're getting a sequel, and I'm just like, I don't remember playing it, but it says it's getting a sequel next year, and I'm sitting here trying to find out. Like,
I've definitely never played it, but I've heard it in passing.
it was for the PS2. Wow,
Oh,
it came out in
good lord.
2002.
Yeah. Gungrave
I
is
didn't play it.
uh
It's that old.
Wow.
yeah, like basically experimental, I think, but it's I'm seeing that Tango Gameworks developer. So Tango Gameworks, they're the ones that do things like The Evil Within, like
Okay.
with Shinji Mikami as the director for the first one. So I could get behind this. Well, that's maybe it's not a surprise now, but I like Japanese games a lot. and being able to follow these directors and these artists from game to game. Like Sudo Goichi, I just finished No More Heroes 3, and he makes heavy references to his visual novels that he made, and which would have been a downer in some other lifetime, but both of them have been re-released on the Switch, and then the third one came out recently. So it's like, oh, just go and play them in English now. It's kind of an amazing time we live in terms of translated and available games.
Oh yeah. Melon and Collie, welcome to the chat. I don't know what you're sorry for, but welcome.
Let's see. Sega announced a new game, a new mobile RPG, Sin Chronicle. I'm like,
oh, is that Shining Force? What was it called? I'm sorry.
Sin Chronicle.
Sin Chronicle. Okay, so not Shining Force. Okay.
It's coming out in December in Japan, and is a successor, not a sequel, apparently, to Chain Chronicle, which was released in 2013 and later came to the Vita.
Oh.
I'm like, come on, Sega, give me Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 like freaking remastered or remade or whatever. Like, I mean, I'll be fine with that. I don't need a mobile RPG. Or hell, give me Jet Grind Radio. Give me Jet Grind Radio remake. I'm like, they had some great titles back then, like the late 90s, and
Well, I think Jet Grind Radio. I think the problem with that is the music licensing nightmare.
Oh yeah,
I suppose, right?
That might be a problem. I missed the music in that game. That was one of the reasons I liked it so much. It was it was so like out there, It was.
It'd probably be almost easier. I don't know. Asterisks don't understand how game development works. To just make a new one with new hip tracks and all that, and try to appeal to young people of this modern era and things like that.
That game was great. It was freaking so unique. That's why I loved it. I wasn't really into skateboarding or whatever, but freaking doing all the graffiti like everywhere and all that stuff, and then the music going on was just so freaking like eclectic and just freaking wild. I just loved it. But
so yeah, just having that kind of soundtrack like in a game was just still so novel back then. Something that's like MP3 quality as opposed to just like chip tunes.
Mm.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hell, even Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 with their soundtracks it was great. But I don't know, maybe Sega's focused on or they should be focused on what's that? Damn, what's that called? They just put a game out recently, didn't they? I can't remember. Let me see. Oh no, Sega owns Atlas.
Yes.
So they own the Persona series.
Right.
You're just speaking on. They should be working on Persona 6. That's it.
Oh.
That's what I would like them to announce. Persona 6.
Christ, I'm gonna wait
They
for
already done.
whatever
they already
Persona
done
6
5
comes out. I'm
Tigers
just
and Loyal.
gonna wait
And
for
then
the expanded edition this time around.
The super. Oh wait, no, but they also have to have the dancing.
Right.
They also have to have the remastered version.
Yep.
And they have to have like the Strikers version now, which is going to be like a whole different combat style.
Right.
And then of course they have to have another remastered version of something else.
They need to update the fighting game as well. That's get that in there.
Oh yeah. They have. I forgot they have the fighting game too. What was it called? Arena.
Yep.
Something.
So the first one's Arena, and then the follow-up's Arena Ultimax, and then it's also heavily featured in Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle as one of the universes that comes in. So you've got like Yu Nakarami versus Ruby Rose from Ruby versus Ragna the Blood Edge from Blaze Blue versus whatever from that game that didn't come out in English, but good for them that's in there.
They have to just announce. They just have to go to 6. That's what I want.
It has Yumi from Senran Kagura as well as a guest character. And it's so because they have English voices for all the cast, they have English voices for her too. And it's kind of surreal hearing this character in English. Like usually I really like the English voices for things. It's like, I don't know if I can do this. But at least you can selectively do English and Japanese like you can with a lot of fighting games.
I just hope Sega has something new very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And Dungeon Encounter, we talked about it, but apparently it's coming out October 15th. I found the release date, so it's gonna be out in like 2 weeks on the Switch, PS4, and Steam.
Right.
So that is interesting. Monster Hunter Rise is getting their expansion next year. Don't know why they announced that. So I'm like, you're announcing DLC a year in advance.
Well,
That's crazy.
Monster Hunter Rise, I'm pretty sure, is like the #1 selling game for Capcom.
Over
So,
Resident Evil?
Over Resident Evil.
Holy
Really?
crap.
Yeah.
That's
No
crazy.
way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you look up the Capcom Platinum list of games or whatever, Capcom Platinum titles, that's it. It's surprising but not superly, the order. They update this fairly often, yeah. Monster Hunter World is their top selling ever. Then Resident Evil
Wow.
7, then Resident Evil 2, then Hunter World Iceborne, just the DLC is their third highest selling thing ever. Then
Yeah.
Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Modern Hunter
How
Rise.
much did those sell? Because 5 sold like 7 million copies. Is this like just released? Like
So
that's
so
many.
the PS3 Xbox version of Resident Evil 5 sold 7.9 million copies. So
Yeah.
that's not including the PS4 or Xbox One version of Resident Evil 5.
Okay.
And so Monster Hunter World sold 8.2
Good God.
million
Okay.
copies.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Yep. And then Monster Hunter Rise, so the March 2021 one has it's already the 7th most popular selling Capcom game in Capcom's entire history with 7.3 million units,
That's
just
crazy.
beating out Street Fighter 2 from 1992,
Jeez.
which did 6.3
That's wild.
million units.
I didn't
And
realize
Street
it was
Fighter 5.
that popular. God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, I feel like everybody and their brother has Monster Hunter in Japan, and that's just like, it's like, oh, do you like video games? Oh, yes, I do like Monster Hunter. What about
Right.
you?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like that's just
Yeah.
the game that is played,
Oh.
kind of
That's
thing.
crazy.
So, yeah.
I found that list too. I'm looking at it, and it's all Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and Street Fighter. Like that's
It's just nuts that the DLC for Monster Hunter just exceeds practically every other Capcom
Yeah, that's madness.
game.
There's not a single Mega Man game on here in the top 10. That's
Well,
crazy.
Wow. The most the Mega Man game ever sold was like around 1 million copies. Like they traditionally don't sell like a ton,
Well, that's the the problem
but
is,
altogether they've sold a crazy amount.
there were this many gamers when Mega Man came out,
That
and like
too.
this many people played Mega Man, but now there are this many gamers, and it's like, come on, guys. And it's like, yeah, we got this many.
Right.
It's like, well, we do Mighty Number 9. No, that's no. Nobody wants anymore except all of these, crushed fans. Like, want to put Mega Man in a fighting game? Maybe do some card crossover things. Maybe throw some Darkstalkers in there.
Oh, Darkstalkers. I used to watch the cartoon of that.
You got the American channel, like the Sci-Fi Network, or
Whatever
that
channel.
wasn't on.
Because back when
That wasn't on in Ontario.
how old was I? It was. I think I was it was either elementary school or middle school. But if I
Would've been,
woke
like,
up at 5 o'clock,
1995.
if I woke up at 5 o'clock at my like in my time zone, Monday through Thursday, it played the old, like, was it Ruby Spears, I think, Mega Man cartoon, like the super fighting robot one, which I thought it was hilarious. But on Fridays on Fox, they would show the Darkstalkers cartoon instead of Mega Man.
So jealous. Yeah, I couldn't watch Mega Man. I couldn't watch Street Fighter. I couldn't watch Darkstalkers. I couldn't watch Wing Commander. All the video game shows were like locked out of my region of TV.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I had to wake up super early, but like I did it.
They put it on somewhere, but well, I'm enviable, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it was good. It was
I
a
was probably
surprise because I'm like, oh, Mega Man. Well, I gotta watch this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I found it like all kinds of ironically funny, like just campy goodness. But then like the Darkstalkers, I remember it being like halfway serious, but good.
I've only ever seen like very brief bits of the American Darkstalkers cartoon. It seems bizarre enough to be worth it. But the fact that there was just a Darkstalkers cartoon show in the mid-90s, like, you'll never convince me that that's not just the golden era of fighting games.
Right.
Then like we've had resurgences, but it's nowhere. Even though more people play fighting games now, there's no Street Fighter cartoon
Right.
just on TV.
Well, back then, like
Now that's-
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, like it
Yeah.
was just they were everywhere.
That's just what you did.
Yeah.
Welcome, Agent of Chaos.
Hey,
Freaking, did you guys pre-order Metroid Dread yet? Nah, I didn't pre-order it yet. I mean, I am looking forward to it. I need to just go ahead and do it. I haven't pre-ordered a game. I don't really pre-order games much anymore, but for Metroid, I might make an exception. It comes out next week anyway, and I know I am kidding it. Monster Hunter Rise is also doing a crossover with Sonic. I did hear about that. They're doing a crossover with Ghosts and Goblins, like the main character, that guy in like the suit of armor. And they're doing a crossover with Sonic also, but they didn't give more information on that. I guess it's gonna be like he's gonna be like a DLC kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they did that with
Devil May Cry isn't on that list. Devil May Cry isn't in the top 10, but if you go to that page and you go like down to like a little bit lower, like Devil May Cry 5 says it's number 12, and I think Devil May Cry 4 is number 25. So
yeah,
there's a few Devil May Cry 5. There's a few Devil May Cry titles in there, but not in the top 10 though. I guess I'm not surprised. I figured Resident Evil would be 5 out of the top 10 games. I mean,
yeah.
7, 2, 6, 5.
I knew 5 sold like crazy.
Wait, Resident Evil 2 is
I
here.
didn't realize. Is this
the remake and the original?
Is it combined, the remake and original of 2 with the
No,
Resident Evil 2?
No, the remakes are separated.
There's all separate, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for example, if you add the PS4 version and the Xbox One version of Resident Evil 6 to its number on the first page, then so 7.9, it would actually jump up to the third highest selling game.
Okay.
Resident Evil 6 would, and then Resident Evil 5, yeah, same thing. That would be the
6
fourth.
sold a crap ton too, even though it's like universally panned as far as Resident Evil games go. It still sold like crazy.
I think it's universally panned by vociferous people who played it alone. But also,
gonna say that.
I think also everybody in Japan bought that one too.
Yeah.
Because especially every time I was connected to multiplayer, or half the time I connect to multiplayer, especially in the morning, it'd be very frequently Japanese players on there as well, and that usually doesn't happen with other games, which is because it's all Japan all the time.
Right. Oh, it's built for co-op for sure. 5 and 6.
5 and 6, yeah, definitely.
It's built for co-op, but the part that I always super wanted to work, but it never quite worked, is the part where my two partners playing together, on my TV, and then your two partners from somewhere else in the world, we get to the same like Ustanok boss fight, and then it gives like the minute timer countdown, and if somebody else in the world is playing the same boss fight as you, it puts the 4 players together.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Well, do that? That only ever happened once in my Xbox 360 playthrough, when I had the 4-player crossover, and never again in the Ustanok Battleware. Remember, you've got Leon and Ashley on one side, and then Jake and
Is it Sherry?
and Elena
Elena, yeah.
on the other side, because the transmission tower comes down. So you've got the wrong partner with you on the side, and you're like fighting with this new person, and everything. It's just this amazing thing. And I feel like they tried to implement it a little bit in Devil May Cry 5 in the one level where you can like connect to random people, but it just doesn't work. It never connects to anybody. It's not the same. You can't see them. It's like, just do it again. Just do it again someday, Capcom. That's all I want. I mean, I want a bunch of other stuff, but I want that too.
Yeah. On the top of the list.
Yeah. Maybe,
No, that's pretty crazy. If you they have Resident Evil 5, the PS4 version, separate from like the original like Xbox 360 version and whatnot. So if you combine those, and that jumps up to the top of the list.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition also separate too.
Its own thing too. Yeah.
So this whole list, if you just put up all the different Resident Evil versions of that number, they'd all be like the top freaking 10. Like it'd just be Resident Evil 1 through like 8, basically.
But also, you could play the game in a few different ways. Like for example, you could do there's Street Fighter 2, but there's also Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition Turbo, Super Turbo, and then the
Alpha.
re-releases of those
It's
as
crazy.
well. Street Fighter Alpha is a different enough game from Street Fighter 2, but I'm saying
okay.
just games with the two, the number 2 and the word Street
I might
Fighter.
have been thinking Street Fighter Alpha 2 rather than Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. My
Well,
mistake.
yeah, there's Street Fighter Alpha, Alpha 2, Alpha
Okay.
2 Gold,
My bad.
and Alpha 3. Then in the re-release of those as well, which could be their own re-release, and then the other re-release as part of a different collection. Then how you separate those, I don't even know. But so yeah, Street Fighter makes money for Capcom, but you need lots of combs and scissors to pick out exactly who's making what. There, it's like we'll just release some ROMs, but
Yeah.
who cares if the home versions were better across the years? You guys want arcade classics, don't you? No, I want the complete version on PS3.
That
Oh,
takes
man.
effort, though.
I had to go down to the number 65 to find an actual Mega Man game on this list.
Is that 3
That's-
or 11?
No, Mega Man 2.
Oh, 2. I thought 3 sold
Wow,
more
I
than 2 for
didn't-
some reason. I could just be wrong about
I
that.
was looking I was looking through the whole list, and I finally found a Mega Man game at number 65. That's crazy. Out of like the top 100 something
Yeah.
selling games.
But I mean,
I
like,
wouldn't be surprised.
if you combined
2 had
every
the
Mega
benefit
Man
of
game
being
into
older.
one number, that would be really high up.
Oh wow.
It just
Oh wow. I go a little bit lower, and then I finally see more Mega Man 11, Mega Man Battle Network 4, Mega Man Legacy Collection, Mega Man X, Mega Man 3.
Yeah, see, I
Wow.
think that's just the era. I think they sold well for like 1989, 1990,
Right.
1991. But then it's like, we have this Resident Evil thing, and everybody's doing that. So sorry, Mega Man,
right.
you're only
Yeah.
selling at normal numbers, but
Right.
we're a very high budget company. So
Yeah. We might make a
It's
Mega
almost as if-
Man in our spare time, but that's all you're gonna get.
let the C or D team do that one, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they kind of chopped off Mega Man as one of the limbs and just was like, all right,
Yeah.
let's just focus on like strengthening Monster Hunter and Resident Evil.
I mean, as a
You know.
business, I can't fault them for that at all.
Yeah. Where's the heart?
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm like, oh no.
So-
The only really game I like playing by Mega Man and Capcom was Mega Man, and then later on Devil May Cry, to be honest. So
I'm still holding out hope
for the
for a
most
new
part.
Breath of Fire game.
uh,
Not holding my
maybe
breath.
one day. Oh man.
Never know what's going to be announced. Whoa, Tokyo Game Show.
Oh man, I would soil my trousers if they announced a new Breath of Fire. I would probably cry.
Oh hell, Capcom already went though. Unfortunately, they
Yeah.
went the first. No wait.
I
they
always
went-
hope, but I'm like,
Yeah.
silly
they
me.
went.
No.
I know better
don't-
than that. But like, man's got a dream. Hey, Vaughn.
Yeah.
Capcom went on Thursday. They went on Thursday. Yeah.
Well, maybe next year.
But I mean, they did have like a Breath of Fire campaign or something in this mobile card game called Teppen. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was gonna play it, but my tablet's not good enough to support it. But like, I kind of want to get it just to be like, see, Capcom, this is the only way I can tell you I want Breath of Fire still. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, maybe
but
one
like,
day.
because on the Switch store, Breath of Fire 1 and 2 are like at the top. So like, if people still aren't playing them, it's done. Forget it.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I played what's it called? I played Breath of Fire Dragon Quarters on the PS2. That's like what, the fourth one, right?
Fifth one.
Oh, damn, that's a fifth. Wow. Damn, these freaking games are long running.
Dragon Quarter
Wait,
feels so different from the rest of the series.
I played Dragon Quarter and I never finished it. I hated the whole like, oh, you gotta like beat the game before you like the freaking timer runs out,
Right.
you know, and or you turn into like a dragon or die
Yep.
or something. I
Mhm.
forgot. It's some weird.
I
I was like freaking 11 or 10
Yeah.
when I played it. I think I don't
When I
even know
first-
anymore.
played it, I hated it because it wasn't like Breath of Fire. But then when I played them all again back in like 2018, I was like, I had a new appreciation for Dragon Quarter. It was like, I felt it was kind of ahead of its time in certain ways, but like, I was looking for a Breath of Fire game, but it wasn't one. But it should have just been like its own thing rather than calling it a Breath of Fire game, I think.
Yeah, it was okay. It's just I didn't like that feature of it, and Honestly,
it's kind of misleading because when I played it again more recently, I didn't have to reset the game once. You could very easily still have to reset the game, but if you save all of your, because you could turn into a dragon and use a ton of your percentage or whatever and other abilities to dodge by enemies, but if you don't use those at all, you can beat it the first time through. Or rather, I started to use some of it at the very end, but then I got to the end anyway. But yeah, I didn't like that at first either because I'm well, I'm timed. I don't want to get halfway through the game and restart. But I guess it depends how casually or how cautiously you play. But if you die because you get save tokens, which is annoying, but it's easy to play for an hour and lose your progress and then be oh. So there's that. That wouldn't be the game I would recommend to someone if they're what Breath of Fire should I play? Not Dragon Quarter. Don't start with Dragon Quarter.
No, understandably so. I mean, I don't like almost any game that has the there's an overarching timer of some sort that if you miss it, then you're gonna have to go back to a previous save, start the whole game over, or some other nonsense. Right. There's not a game that has that feature in there that I'm really just this is great. I mean, you know what I mean? But no, Majora's Mask doesn't really have that technically because you could go it's the 3-day, but you can go back to day 1. All you have to do is play the song, so it's not I'm really stuck. I can redo that.
You're not forced to start from the actual. It's more of a Groundhog Day situation rather than here's a new life for you to live. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but XCOM, Enemy Unknown or whatever, in XCOM 2, there's a point where the enemies advance and they start sending you stronger enemies at you when you progress through the game and your soldiers level up and whatnot. And if all your soldiers get killed, you have to train up new ones, which means they have to go through combat. They have to fight enemies and kill enemies, level up. If you're at a point where all your best soldiers die and then you're just left with plain recruits that are level 1 and you're still fighting these freaking top tier enemies because it doesn't go back down. The enemies don't revert back to the weaker ones to give you a chance. You're just still fighting the top tier guys and they're one-shotting your freaking fresh recruits. And then you could basically just lose because you're just losing every battle.
And it's essentially a failure state, even even though the game doesn't say as much, you know that you've lost, and there's no continuing from there.
I got to that point when I played the first one, and I was so freaking irritated. I quit. I just gave up on the game. I stopped playing it.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of meant to reach a failure state. I definitely reached that, but then I started again and did better. I think the third time through, and that's it's not a linear game kind of thing. It's this kind of halfway between the way you play Civilization and the way you play a game with a story. And then Dead Rising, I thought had a good timer. I like that stress. But then playing Persona 5 Royal and fighting the Jeff Bezos boss that had the timer.
Oh, I hated that.
On it. Because remember, he's the super mega corporation Okumura guy, and he's going to space.
I need to play those games. I don't know why.
Obviously,
I have the first.
Based on Jeff Bezos for sure.
Oh yeah, seriously, freaking.
Then
dude big CEO guy.
You only have a 30-minute timer on a turn-based game. What's even happening? And the enemies are so hard to bring down. It was just it was not an easy battle.
Yeah, timing turn-based stuff especially makes no sense. And then it's still going down as I'm. Yeah. So you're making your fort. Luckily it was just that one boss fight.
Yeah.
But if you ever played Persona 5, Harv, 5 and Royal, they did do changes, and one of the biggest changes they did was changing the actual boss fights. All the boss fights
I've heard
are different than the original boss fights. They're the same people, but their moves, their strategy is different. So you have to make a whole new strategy for fighting every single boss. So that kept it more interesting. And one of the bosses, they just made it a timer, like Ven was saying, and it's just why are you giving me a timer in a turn-based game? So I have to literally as fast as possible. And it's just if you play Royal, you will get to that boss and you will see exactly how frustrating it is. I lost multiple times. I had to actually leave the whole thing. I had to go level up for 2 or 3 hours to even get to the point where I was strong enough to beat the damn boss. But
Good lord.
stuff like that even is irritating.
I had to basically just look up like a cheating strategy. It's something you're supposed to
that
learn
bad.
over the course of the game, but I didn't understand it until then. I didn't understand how you're supposed to do it and link elements together with what's called a baton pass.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I also didn't realize that you essentially need to crank the difficulty up to hardest for this strategy to work, because under normal circumstances, you do this much damage and the enemy does this much damage, and if it's a elemental weakness, you do this much and this much. But if you do it on hard, elemental damage does huge damage to both you and the enemy. Kind of like realism mode in a shooting game or whatever, where nobody's a bullet sponge, including you. So you can do enough damage to the waves of respawning enemies in a timed battle.
Yeah, they're crazy.
But then fortunately I had these items that could all hit elemental weaknesses with different characters, even though normally a Persona character the side characters only have one element to them. Because I was like, how do you do a baton pass if only the hero?
Yeah, you got to use those items that do elemental damage.
And so it'd be like, Yahoo 1 does fire, and then the actual fire guy does fire, and then protagonist does fire, and then finally number 4 is at its max level to actually hit things, and that's the only thing you can do without just grinding for levels. So so you grinded for levels for 3 hours. I tried strategies for 3 hours and eventually was able to break through it, but it was painful. Oh yeah, and if you and there was a few times I was close, but the timer ran out. So yeah, that's Persona 5 Royal. Really good game, everybody. You should play it. But Jeff Bezos is the worst boss.
Yeah, when you get to that boss, I forgot what number palace it is, but oh my god, it's freaking horrible. And freaking.
And you just see him, his smug face, launching his whole corporation into space. It's like, I don't need this.
Gotcha.
Lyle says Dead Rising 1 through 3 is awesome and Dead Rising 4 is bad. I've never played any Dead Rising game. I keep getting Dead Rising mixed up with the other Dead game.
Dead Island.
Dead Island or Dead something. There's too many Dead games. Yeah, well there's Left 4 Dead, Dead Rising, Dead Island, Walking Dead, Dead Space, Dead. I'm like, why do you guys have so many? Resident Evil should just be called Dead Evil, because it's just like there's so many freaking zombie games. Red Dead Redemption.
Evil Dead's its own thing.
Evil Dead. Evil Dead is a game too, right? Or is that a movie?
There is an Evil Dead game, but it's initially a movie and then a remake of the same movie and then a sequel to the movie, which may be a different timeline, and then a TV series.
Bruce Campbell.
What the hell? What is Dead Rising even about? I might actually.
Dead Rising is about a reporter, Frank West, who's covered wars, and he goes to a zombie outbreak at a mall in America because the zombies represent consumerism in the first game. And he's going on through, and he's trying to uncover the truth, you see. But when you take pictures of the zombies, which at the time it was super novel because there was no way to have this many zombies on the screen on a previous generation game, but Xbox 360, it was ready to do that. Now, it does a very clever thing where most of them are idle, and only when you get close to them do they start being active. Then they're still kind of like, vibing, I guess, whatever the young people are saying. But yeah, the program is pretty brilliant to have that many like active agents on the screen. When really, but there's like a crummy Wii version that's like super scaled down, and only the active zombies appeared, and none of the crowd are there. So that's a bit sad, but it's better than nothing, I guess. And then you go through, and it's impossible to beat the game on the first go through. You essentially have to run out of time and restart the game at a higher level. This pissed off a lot of people. They didn't like the time. They don't like time games. Dead Rising 2 basically gave you like so much time to just do everything in one go, and especially if you do multiplayer. And then Dead Rising 3, the timer might as well not be there. Dead Rising 4 is not a very good game. That's my review of the series. Go play them.
Did you play 4?
I played 4. Yeah, it's mediocre. Like, it's fine. It's not a bad game. It's just less good than the other one.
Just not breaking any new ground.
Yeah, but then, and I usually don't complain about DLC. Usually it's perfectly fine, but they legit put the good ending in DLC. You just don't
That's
get the end
lame.
of the game.
That's not cool.
It's quite lame. So yeah, just not super psyched about that. They changed the voice actor, like the humor is not quite there. The combo weapons are not quite the same. It's just Dead Rising 3 but less, unfortunately. But they also knew that I would play it. They didn't know I was going to wait till Game Pass to play it, so I guess joke's on them. But that's the legend.
There's so many games I haven't gotten around to trying. If Dead Rising is available on like the PS4, like if they have
Yeah,
like a remastered version, I might try
they
it.
did a remaster version on the DS4 or PS4. I'm almost certain. Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah, that was the kind of like whoa thing, because the first Dead Rising 1 was Xbox 360 exclusive, and we sort of. But then 2 was on everything. But then 3 was Xbox One exclusive as well. So it has a strange history of exclusivity. But now the re-release or remaster, whatever, Dead Rising 1 is indeed on PS4. Pretty sure. So that's a thing.
Yeah, I should at least play through the first one. Like, I've seen it be played. I have it. Well, I had it on 360. I may as well just get the remastered one, but I should give that a go sometime.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Although here's my, if I were to play only one, I would say that 2 is the superior game.
Okay.
If you're gonna do that, it's made in Canada, and it makes
Really?
it was outsourced.
Okay.
At that point, you can tell it was made in Canada because one of the weapons is like a hunting trophy moose head that you can put on and like ram through with the antlers through
Perfect.
hordes of zombies, and you can combo weapon in that game because the protagonist is handyman or whatever.
Yep.
So you can like duct tape like knives or whatever to the moose antlers, or and or like
that's pretty
string guns
great.
or something. Well, my favorite weapon, like the basic one, is a kayak paddle with a chainsaw taped to either side of it, and you just kind of row through the hordes of zombies.
That was the game series that had all like the wacky different weapons you could use, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So like
I heard about that.
Wheelchair plus car battery equals rolling electric chair kind of thing, and or like
I heard about that. I definitely heard about that part.
Plus diamond necklace equals lightsaber. And just mastering all those combos, and like and you're in like this kind of Las Vegas strip mall thing. It's like this kind of, for the time open world, and you're going through and you're like dressing up in whatever clothes you find. There's like the the Mega Man cosplay you can do and stuff like that, or just any old lady's tennis dress you want to put on, or and the protagonist is always like, yeah, this is a good idea, kind of thing. And the cutscenes, of course, look ridiculous when you've got just like this clownish outfit on, but that's part of the charm.
I love it when you can do that in games, just like make yourself look completely ridiculous, but in the cutscenes keep that whatever you're wearing. Love that.
Yeah, like like Frank West's like super hairy chest with like the the cleavage kind of window and stuff like that, and like it's just his arms in whatever outfit you've got, and doesn't quite fit, but he's just he's got a job to do, so it's a good, and then if you can play it co-op, that's just fun too. But it just gives you another protagonist, and they don't even acknowledge it, kind of thing. It's just like, yeah, you want to play two player, just there's two heroes now.
Yeah. Okay. Just ignore him for the story. He's not here.
He doesn't exist.
Or just do it so fast. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here.
Oh man, freaking Vile says, "Too bad Royal is not canon in the sequel to Persona 5." Yeah, it was called Strikers. I played it like a few months back. It was good, but yeah, I don't know why. Since Strikers technically came out after Royal, that's the part that's weird. I don't know. If they were to continue the story, I don't know how they would do it, because Royal is supposed to be canon now since they added in more. It wasn't even DLC. They added in more story to it. They added in whole new characters and whatnot. So I do find it weird that they made a whole new game, Strikers, which is the sequel to 5. But I'm like, how do you put out 5, then 5 Royal, then 5 Strikers, and it just ignores that Royal is, right here, and it just goes, oh, we're just continuing.
It's really peculiar because with Persona 4, I'm pretty sure all the subsequent games are all canonical, but then again, I guess Marie never shows up again. That's a little strange, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, they do, as far as I can tell, they do go have dance battles and stuff like that because, of course, that's what these kids do. And they do
fighting, they do dance battles. Now they just need a good go-kart game,
Well, that'd be brilliant. I'd buy that.
They need a go-kart game.
This is my true drift technique. Persona.
No, the only thing they don't have is like a racing game or some kind of. They have the dancing game? That's like the rhythm game right there.
Yeah.
They need to do like freaking Persona Sports, like freaking Mario doing golf and freaking
right.
go-kart. What's the other one he does? Olympic Games.
Tennis, soccer, I think baseball.
Oh crap! Yeah, Mario freaking soccer. Yeah, that's the other one. Mario is a freaking super athlete. He does everything.
Yeah,
that's amazing. But no, I'm just looking forward to Persona 6 whenever they announce it
someday.
But oh my god, that's
SMT
crazy.
5 right around the corner.
True indeed. That's coming out this year too, right?
I think so.
I never played any of it. Like the actual Shin Megami Tensei game. I haven't played a single one. Just Persona.
I have Nocturne, but I didn't get around to playing it. I was
So I guess
so close a couple of times, but then just veered the other way.
I played the what was originally called Shin Megami Nocturne Cross Fire Emblem. What was that called? The Wii U game. Tokyo Mirage Sessions. That's it.
Yeah, I never played
Tokyo Mirage Sessions was quite good. I think it came out on the Switch as well. So if you like Persona, they're very Persona-like, and while being fairly Fire Emblem.
That's such a weird crossover.
Yeah, it's kind of like it is and it isn't. It's the personas that are essentially Fire Emblem-esque. This kind of this Martha monster type thing, whereas the kids are fairly Persona-esque, like hip teenagers who all have different personality quirks and stuff like that. It's like here's the artsy one, here's the rich one and stuff like that. So yeah, it's worth checking out if you like that. I just gotta say it's 11:25 now, so I must depart.
We're done with the Tokyo Game Show and about to wrap up. Actually, now also, it's been like, oh geez, what is it? 2 hours?
This time I haven't been keeping track tonight.
Oh wow, it says 108 minutes. Yeah, almost a whole hour. But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to say to the people before you disappear?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me on again, and
been anytime. Always a pleasure
talking about all these things.
Oh no, definitely.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, you too, Noara.
You too, man.
But yeah, that pretty well, because I think we touched on everything we wanted to with the Tokyo Game Show also. So
yeah, only other thing is Tokyo Game Show is not done. It's going to continue Saturday, and it's going to continue Sunday as well. That's when it finishes on the 3rd. And there's a few more companies that are going to go, like Arc System Works, you mentioned.
Right.
A whole bunch of companies I really don't even recognize, but there's freaking thousands of freaking video game developers and publishers. Yeah. But one more thing about the Tokyo Game Show. Did you see that Bandai Namco changed their logo?
No.
Like, that was a thing I saw just like a day or two ago, I believe. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I saw that Bandai Namco is changing their logo to like, it's iconic. It's like the yellow, the orange, the red shapes, and then Bandai Namco in the search center. Yeah, apparently now their new thing. If you just Google Bandai Namco, and the first thing it'll pop up right there, their new logo.
I gotta take a look at this.
And I'm just like, what are you doing? This is so iconic. Like, what?
Get this in front.
It's been 15 years of them having this logo. I was very surprised.
They feel like they need to change it to sell more video games, I guess. Like, why else would they?
Like, I
change
mean,
it?
I don't know. It's just so. I mean, hell, they've been behind a lot of games too. So Digimon, Ace Combat,
They're
Sword
just changing
Online.
it to that.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just
That's not better.
that's the
It's
most
more
bland.
minimalist,
Like,
I guess.
that's the most bland name change. I feel like
Yeah.
it had more. It stood out more because of like the 3 different colors and whatnot, and
Right.
3 different shapes. Like the
Not just this
what I
regular
mean?
text bubble thing in like Times New Roman font. Like, it's just
Yeah,
basic block lettering. Like, I
yeah.
mean, it
They just
was
put a freaking
before, but
square
there
on
was at least some color in it. Yeah, I don't know why they even know
Yeah,
what they were
and
thinking.
now they changed their tagline is now "Fun for all into the future."
Whatever, Bandai, Namco, whatever you say.
I don't know what that's. Fun for all into the future. I'm like, your logo isn't fun anymore,
No,
though.
it's lame.
Oh man, but a lot of people were saying, a lot of people like a lot of comments online were saying that the old one is better.
I
Some
agree.
people just don't care about the logo. Some people are saying that it doesn't look right. They miss it already. All that stuff. So that was
It's just
interesting.
so it's a step backwards. There's nothing about it
Yeah,
appealing at all. Like, it's
yeah.
not
I don't
brighter,
know.
doesn't catch my attention more.
Yeah,
Like,
it
they
doesn't
just
stand out.
yeah.
Doesn't stand out anymore. Bandai Namco was one of those video game logos that did stand out to me. Whenever I saw it, I'd be like, I know who that is right off the bat. Now I'm just like,
Yeah.
who the hell are you? Like, you know, been a long time, 15 years or so, I believe it says that they had that one, or
It's been some
uh,
time for sure.
a while for sure. But yeah, that was the Tokyo Game Show. Tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, they're going to be finishing up with
Yeah.
some more companies having more announcements.
Sure, we'll have
So that, of course, will
something
have
to
to be
say about
covered
that.
next week.
Yeah.
But some of the companies, it says Gung Ho Online Entertainment, freaking, I think it says Konami, I think. Arc System Works, Japan Electronics College, S Game.
The hell would
I don't know.
Konami?
I don't know if these are all I don't know if these are all video game companies. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it
I
all
suppose,
they're gonna
right.
have something to do with it. Some of them might be something else, Japan related.
Could be.
But yeah, Ubisoft is gonna have some kind of
Oh, okay.
special program. It says. So look forward to that. It finishes Sunday morning. Um, let me see. Pacific time, I think it says. Yeah. So we'll be back next week going over whatever else was announced in the
Yeah,
Tokyo Game Show for this Saturday and Sunday. And of
sure.
course, next week is Metroid Dread. So freaking
Yeah.
next Friday. Whoever doesn't have it, you getting it, right? Or no?
I'll watch people play it. I don't plan on grabbing it anytime soon.
I have other games to play,
It
so I
looks
wasn't.
super cool, but like I've just historically not a big Metroid player. But I'll
Metroid,
watch someone else play it and be like, this looks sharp.
Metroid has always been one of my favorite series, especially from Nintendo. Like it's a top 3 Nintendo series for me. Like Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox,
Yeah, like
or something like that, basically.
I don't
But
understand my hesitance towards Metroid because like I love Mega Man so much, and it's like it's not that different. Like, yeah, it's more figure out where to go, but like that I don't find that like unappealing or anything. So it's just a
yeah,
series
it's more exploration based a bit, and
yeah, like it's a series I just can't play them all, I guess. So it was just one of the ones I missed.
no, but definitely, I don't know if I'm gonna get it day one, but I am definitely not gonna wait for that to go on sale. Some games I'll be like, oh, I'll wait, but this one,
You'll be waiting. You'll have gray hair by the time that goes on sale.
yeah, yeah, I can't even do that. But so what have you been working on lately? What game are
Just
you streaming?
lately, I've been working through all the Mega Man games live with the Guitar Hero controller. Well, the classic series. I just finished 8 yesterday. Next week I'm going to do 9, 10, and 11. Then I'm going to move on to. I haven't decided if that week I'll just shoehorn also in Mega Man and Bass and like Mega Man X, and then the following week start up with Final Fantasy 14, or if I'll jump right into 14 after 11. I haven't decided yet, but Final Fantasy 14 is just on the horizon because I want to get a few good weeks of that in before I go on a Mario Party Superstar tangent. because that's going to take up I don't know how much of my time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna running through those with the Guitar Hero control. I still don't know how you do it. I really don't. That's nuts to me. Like
It's
I don't have that level of I don't know, patience or dedication or whatever it is. Like,
it was just like
I don't have it in me.
it was just kind of like I'm experienced with Guitar Hero, and I just kind of thought like, oh, no one else is really doing this, so I'll try it to to varying levels of success. I mean, it's a fun enough challenge for me, and it gives me an excuse to stream all the Mega Man games again. So
For me, I just started streaming Near Replicant last night. I don't know. Near Replicant 1.2234 like freaking pi numbers.
Right.
Like I don't know what that's about.
I
But
think it's just them trying to be, haha,
different
about it.
like numbers. I don't know, but
Yeah.
so far it's pretty good. I only played a little bit, but I'm going to get more into it and continue streaming
Yeah.
it like tomorrow. And besides that, like I've been playing Yakuza like a dragon also.
Oh, right.
Halfway.
But I just
You got
but
it does continue. It does continue. It's just a whole different main character and all that stuff. But
yeah,
it's definitely good. Like I saw.
Curious how you're gonna feel about Near Replicant a week from now.
How?
I'm just curious how like if
no,
it's gonna grow on you more, or if you're like, what's a big deal?
No, so far I do like Near Replicant.
Yeah.
Like I gotta play more. I want to like.
Oh, of course.
I know I'm gonna unlock more like because I've already been unlocking some of the magic and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is freaking cool. This book, like, freaking, I don't know. I gotta get into the real like plot of it. I feel like I haven't hit the real story yet. Like it's kind of
you're just starting to learn about the world and everything. So
yeah, I've only been like 2 or 3 different villages, and I'm just like, okay, I want to get to like what's the overarching, like typical JRPGs. Like I know there's some craziness going on,
Right.
Trying to get to that point. Basically, I know it's coming. I've only played like 2 hours or something, so I know there's more to it. But yeah, by next week, I'm gonna be a bit much further in the Near Replicant because I'm gonna continue streaming it like tomorrow probably.
I'll definitely pick your brain about that. So you're gonna be streaming that over on Twitch?
No, yeah, definitely. That's freaking Sam is always on Twitch streaming Near Replicant freaking Saturdays. Pretty much usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights Eastern Standard Time. After I finish Near Replicant, I have no idea which the game is next. I have like a few different ones to choose from. I guess it depends on how I feel at the moment.
Yeah, you'll start sensing the end of the game, and you'll start thinking about what to play next, and something will grab you. Like I'm sure you got a never-ending backlog like the rest of us. So.
Yeah, seriously. But hell, once again, guys, that's like Serenial.
Yeah.
We talk about video games for freaking hours.
Yeah. It's a general rule. Come on back next
yeah.
Friday. We'll do it all over again.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for joining, especially the freaking people that are always there, like the consistent people.
Yeah.
It truly is appreciated.
Oh, big time.
And like always, make sure you subscribe to the Serenial channel.
Yes.
And subscribe to everyone's individual channels. You can find Harv, link in the description box below.
Yep.
Myself, link in the description box below.
Right.
And of course, go follow everywhere else. Like myself on Twitch, Harv on YouTube, myself on freaking Twitter, Harv on Twitter, so on and so forth. And everybody else, you go check out the channel, you find videos from other people, various streams, talking about other things. And as always, just thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you stay in tune for next Friday where we're finished talking about the Tokyo Game Show.
Right on. We'll see you